The post-dialysis period is associated with orthostasis, fatigue, and higher rates of sudden cardiac death, particularly on Monday and Tuesday after the 72-hour interdialytic interval. Hypotensive symptoms can occur in more than 50% of patients who are treated with dialysis. Because most blood pressure medications are dilating the vasculature or impact other components of cardiovascular function, they may actually prevent the normal physiologic response to changes in volume during dialysis, which can lead to intradialytic low blood pressure, interdialytic low blood pressure, and importantly, post-dialysis fatigue and a reduced quality of life for dialysis patients. These symptoms can not only make the treatment ineffective or harmful, but also creates a sense of fear in the patients, which makes them resist proposed increases in ultrafiltration or fluid removal to achieve or maintain their dry weight. Several studies have shown that patients who experience frequent low blood pressure events during dialysis have poorer survival. Unfortunately, we do not get blood pressure information when the patient is at home. Ultimately, personalizing pharmacologic control of blood pressure and fluid removal could prevent the post-dialysis fatigue and adverse effects on the cardiovascular system. Because of the multiple contributing factors that are highly heterogeneous, there is a great need for new technology to really aggregate and synthesize these data for the clinician so that they can easily develop precision recommendations for each individual dialysis patient. My solution is MyDialysis, which integrates multiple sources of individual level data to customize dialysis fluid removal and blood pressure medication doses to ultimately reduce post-dialysis fatigue and improve the patient's experience with the dialysis setting. Typically, the dialysis team will essentially guess at how much additional fluid might need to be removed and how much to ultimately increase or decrease blood pressure medications. These guesses don't often work out optimally, and the patient ends up feeling unwell and frustrated. The MyDialysis application can be integrated into the medical record and will become more and more sophisticated in the recommendations it provides as more data are accumulated and run through the algorithm. The MyDialysis application requires wireless transmission of data and cloud storage. Because models and algorithms using artificial intelligence are highly complex, hardware with extensive memory is needed to accelerate model runs. This is likely one challenge we will see initially. However, we are proposing alpha and beta testing, so these issues can be addressed at the hardware level before they are scaled up. The data sources come from three main sources: CritLine, which tracks hematocrit over time. As fluid is removed, hematocrit increases, which suggests fluid is being removed. If the hematocrit does not change, but the patient still has symptoms of low blood pressure or cramping, there could be other issues such as too much blood pressure medication. The patient's individual blood pressure medication profiles are evaluated using dried blood spotting, that is simply mailed to the lab and then entered into the EMR. Finally, the patient takes their blood pressure at home and the data is transmitted via Bluetooth to their mobile device, which transmits to the EMR. This provides much more data post-dialysis when the patient is feeling the worst. The major contributors to potential loss could be overstating the value of MyDialysis. Although we are addressing a major problem in dialysis, there are other problems both on the healthcare delivery and patient side that might contribute to post-dialysis fatigue. Also, because this is a complex IT solution, it will be necessary to keep leadership engaged to ensure that the solution moves forward and doesn't get put in a parking lot due to its inherent complexity. I will need the support of the key leadership at Fresenius Medical Care, which is the largest dialysis organization in the world. I will need to keep leadership engaged in this process. As MyDialysis is rolled out, there needs to be a very open style of communication with staff and patients. There can be incentives, for example, for early adopters to keep the momentum going. The governance for MyDialysis is focused on four key elements: budgets, objectives, strategies, and programs. Because Development may be initially funded by research grants. It will be important to leverage other partnerships such as venture capital to make sure the process does not get stalled in the weeds of the research enterprise, which is infamous for slowing innovation. The objectives need to stay focused as they can easily be derailed by special interests. The strategies need to be very proactive, and efforts to potentially shelve the project need to be thwarted by patient and providers communicating the need. Finally, the programs need to be seen through an innovative eye, not simply the payer or the dialysis facility, so that my dialysis can be the change we have not had since starting this process in the early 1970s.